when I have my Christmas parties every year, I invite a lot of the neighbors, people in my community, and it's a mix of people. You've got people on both political sides. You have Christians, Jewish, some atheists, because before anything, we're neighbors. And God says to love your neighbor as yourself. And these are people in your close community. These are people that you walk with every day, or that you see, maybe not walk with every day, but you're in close quarters with them. You care for your neighbor. You're there if they need you. And that's what makes communities so great, when it doesn't matter about background or skin color or religion, as long as everybody is there to celebrate each other and to love on one another and to commune with each other, and you're sharing your table with them, you're sharing your space with them. And I do pray for everybody that comes through, because I'm bringing them into my home. So I obviously know the importance of who you're allowing in your personal space and who you're bringing into your home or allowing into your home, because I'm very cautious of that, on what people could be carrying or bringing in with them. But ultimately, I want them to have an experience, a joy. And last year, one of the neighbors, he got real teary-eyed because it was such a good feeling. He said it reminded him of when he was younger and how his family used to host parties, and how the neighbors and family members and people would come, and it just made him feel so warm and welcome. And I think I was playing like a Perry Como music in the background that was talking about, home for the holidays or whatever. And it was just such a beautiful feeling that people got to experience, this nostalgia of a beautiful time. And that's why I love setting up Christmas early. That's why I like to host early. I don't know if I'll be doing it this year, just because our apartment is a little bit smaller. But it's just a beautiful time to come together with those in your community, if you're considering doing something like that. I think what we've forgotten is you can have dialogue, you can have a meal with somebody without being in total agreement with them in their every area of their life and their beliefs. People just cut you off immediately because they don't agree, instead of maybe understanding where that's coming from, the pain that's coming from, or even how they were raised or what they were told. Now, if somebody continues to walk in ignorance or darkness because they don't want to learn, that's different. I know people that they don't want to hear. They don't care about the truth. They just want to do whatever they want to do, and then they want to bring an argument to you to get you all frustrated and twisted up. That's not okay. And I don't tolerate that. This is why I don't engage with people who, want to take things out of context, or they won't open up their eyes to the truth on whatever subject it is. They'll just want to pummel you for it. And they actually become what they hate. They become what they're telling you are, but they're the epitome of it. They're the exact, they prove the point with their dialogue. And so it doesn't make any sense. So you have to be mindful of, are you going to throw your pearls to the swine? Because the Bible says that they will trample all over it and then devour you for it. So don't do that. You have to have discernment on who you are going to share stuff with when it comes to, anything. There's low-hanging fruit. There's people who want to know, and then there's people who they just don't want to. They are not open. They don't care. They don't want to. They want to argue, mainly because it's their own ego that is fueled by it. It's not even to be awakened by the truth. It's so they could say, I'm right, or it's fueling their own self-satisfaction, their own ego. And by you engaging in dialogue with them, oh, well, this is why. Someone's trying to prove a point. Again, is it because they want to know the truth? They really are curious? Or they just want to be right? And that goes for you too. Do you want to share because you want to be right, or you really care you really care about that person? You can be kind and care about people without agreeing with them. But what I don't like is being baited into conversations. I had the girl the other day message me, and the first line was, "So are you racist?" And I said, and I, normally I'm not going to even respond to that because for those of you who know me, married to somebody with a different cultural background, different skin color than mine. So the fact that you said that tells me what's in your heart. See, the Bible says to judge them by their fruits. How they speak, you have a right to take the words and how they speak. The fruits, their mouth, their word shows what's in their heart. So it's automatically an attack in their words because they're the way that they're dialoguing with you shows you the level of where they're at. That's your first indicator of where they're at. So you have to then discern, okay, am I going to, you don't have to be nice. Kindness and niceness are two different things. So you have to discern, am I going to engage in dialogue with this person when they're coming at me in this specific way? Or am I just going to not and choose peace? Sometimes just choosing the peace is the best way to go because you're not going to wake them up anyways. And, it's not your job to save everybody, right? It's your job to demonstrate with your life, plant seeds where you can, and allow God to water and waken those people up, right? So choosing peace over conflict sometimes is a better way to go, especially if you're not really ready or prepared to engage in that type of battle and it's really going to affect you in a negative way. So I know there's a lot of influencers or creators, content creators, that they didn't speak up about anything because maybe they weren't well versed, or they didn't know, and I understand that they don't know what to say. They're like, I better just stay silent. But a lot of times they're staying silent because they don't want to lose. Oh, I'm growing right now. I can't speak up. I can't make people mad. What they're growing, their followers or their partnerships with their companies is more important. And I can tell you right now, it's not. It is not worth you pleasing people over pleasing God. It's not worth it. You're not getting paid enough to do that. I know what you make. I know what most of you make. It's not life-changing money. Doing your content and doing your influencing and doing your collaborations and stuff. Even if you're making 10 grand a month, that's not life-changing. So you have to, which most of you are not making that, by the way. And the ones that are, the ones with millions of followers that are making upwards, you didn't speak up. I mean, shame on you for not. You care more about yourself, in my opinion, than you do standing up. And it just shows your character. But again, maybe that's not your thing, okay? Which I get, I understand. This is why we train. And, one of the reasons why I show up and do these walk-in talks, if you go to I used to leave them on my Instagram stories, and now I've moved them all to the YouTube, because I'm training myself. Even if one person's listening, even if no one's listening, I'm training myself to speak up. I'm training myself to show up. I'm training myself to hear from God and speak. Hear, speak. Get revelation, speak it out. And the more that I do it, the more comfortable I get. It's like you're strengthening a muscle is what you're doing. This is why walking every day, you're building a pattern, you're building up habits by doing that. So that way, when the time comes for you to step into the arena or to do what God's called you to do on a bigger scale, you're prepared for it. You're ready for it. You've already been training for that. But if you're not training for it, you're not going to be ready. And that's what happens. Fear grips us. We get fearful. Whoa, I'm going to, I can't say anything. Now, I understand it's a fearful thing. You got little ones at home. You don't want to shake things up. Your family might have mixed feelings and mixed things, and you just don't want to cause any strife. I get it. And I'm not condemning you for that. But what I'm saying, the ones who are feeling that nudging to show up, and the ones that are really feeling that call to action, start little at a time. Start showing up, start speaking, whether it's a couple minutes a day. Find what really puts a fire in you and start there and ask God to give you a spirit of courage and strength and of a sound mind. This is how you know the truth, because there's a sound mind. And the people that are trying to defend a lie, they are all over the place. It is nasty. It's chaotic. Their words half the time don't make sense. They are coming at you with a lot of their own frustration, because they're wrapped up in a lie. It's very messy. A lie is very fuzzy. It's chaotic. It's all over the place. The truth is clear. It's concise. It sets you free. It's a revelation. And once that truth is deposited in you, once you get it, you're like, oh, it's a revelation. You're like, man, I got it. It's like trying to figure out a math problem, and then you finally get this really long problem. You get the answer. Boom, revelation. You get that feeling of truth. I got it. I figured it out. That's what it is. And then once you have that truth, there's no turning back, because you already figured it out. That's why the truth sets you free about whatever it is that problem is that you're working on. So once you get that, you're like, whoa, nothing out. Like someone could say something, you're like, I already know the truth, so it doesn't matter, because I already know. I already have the truth deposited in my heart. It's already awakened me. You can't undo it. When you figure out the truth, you can't undo it. It's like you're not going backwards. You're not even going to entertain the dialogue or the discussions of lower things that you know are not true, right? But each individual has to get to that point themselves. They have to get there on their own and have their own revelation. But in order to do that, they have to be willing and open to learn. It's something that you can guide them and help them, but if they're not willing and open or ready, then it's going to be really difficult. Some people are just gone. They're too far gone. And there's a verse about, their reprobate mind has taken over. It means the veil is so thick. Now, is there hope for them? Yes, absolutely. We always keep praying, but you have to really discern what's your assignment and what's not your assignment. Who's your assignment and who's not your assignment. Because sometimes that person can be an assignment of the enemy. And what I mean by that is that they're put there to only cause you strife and unrest and frustration and chaos and anxiety. You think you're helping them, but you're not. They're actually destroying you little by little, because you're allowing it. You're thinking, oh, I'm helping this person, and you're not. Some people are so controlled by the enemy. They're demonically charged that they like that, turns them on when they are, belittling you or knowing that they're getting to you, that they're frustrating you or whatever. So you have to discern. This is why God says, ask for as much wisdom as you need. Ask him, is this of you? Is this person of you? Is this my assignment? No? Then don't touch it. Don't touch them. Don't. It's not your job. Now, if God says, this is a person I want you to minister to you, that means he knows what you don't. He knows that you're going to connect with that person in a specific way. He might give you a word for them. He might give you something specific for them. And he knows that there's hope for that person. And he connected you guys or made you cross paths for a reason. That's totally different. But not everybody is your assignment. You can't say yes to everybody and everything. So I'm very careful now, because I used to. Man, I had some people in my close quarters that my husband knew before I did. And he would say, there is something wrong with that person. Do not share with them too much. And I'm like, no, they're fine. They got my back. Nope, little did I know. As soon as they had the opportunity, not only did they exploit everything that I shared with them, and by exploiting, I mean they gossiped about it, they spread lies they fueled themselves. They took it and fueled themselves with it, basically making them feel stronger and more, more powerful or more in charge or more, oh yeah, like I got her, I sure showed her. It's a attack that I allowed in because I had somebody close to me for a very long time, which I should not have. And as soon as I started building my spiritual muscles and discerning, I was actually doing a warfare prayer for 90 days, every single day. I was speaking this prayer, and I've done a couple rounds of it because it takes like 10 minutes to do. But as soon as I started doing it over and over and over, my spiritual eyes started opening up, because I was blinded to that person and their true nature. But my spiritual eyes started opening up. I started discerning and was like, whoa, I've been engaging with the enemy, giving them all of this information in my life. And it caused a lot of strife with my husband, because I was defending that person and telling him, no, they're my friend, they're this and that. And it caused strife between us. And obviously marriage problems comes from all different ways, but that was a big one because he wanted me to not share with them. And he was right. And it came out. And, everything in the darkness is going to come out to light. You can't hide. You can't run and hide. It's going to be exposed. So you have to know who's my assignment, who's not my assignment. What do you have for me, God? Don't be distracted with all of these ridiculous things. Remove the distraction and stay on course. Do what you have to do. If he gives you a word and he knows you have to share it with somebody, obey. Be obedient. I've also had people send me messages, man, and some of these words that I'm getting are so powerful. I'm like, they're being obedient to what God's sharing with them to share to me, and it's ministering to my life. It's encouraging me. It's sharpening me, and that's what we're supposed to do, is sharpen each other. So if God gives you a word for a specific person, don't be afraid. Reach out and say, hey, God wants me to share this with you, but understand, you need to know that word's coming from God and not the enemy. You need to have your house in order so you're hearing clearly, because they could be giving you a false word. I know, it sounds all crazy. Best thing you can do is just walk closely with Jesus. Spend time with him. Know the word of the Lord. Know when he's speaking and when he's not speaking. And that way, you won't stumble. You will know this is what I have to do without needing anybody's approval or needing to second guess it. Okay, I'm getting sweaty. Gotta go in.